some songs we sang in primary were not just songs. They were more of social commentaries. So today I remembered one of the songs that we sang then that was more of juxtaposition. It was comparing how people lived then and how the society has continuously changed, how people lived now. Of course, when we were in primary and progressively. This is Home and Heritage on Lehecys TV. So the song was comparing how old people lived then, how they lived in unity, how they live now, how farming was done then, the kind of crops that were resistant to famine, how people used to eat together, how girls used to behave, and things like that. So the song was something like this. Odhiambo momera piny opodho agwambo, jodongo wuoro. Jodongo wuoro piny opodho agwambo, nyakwaro thule wuodh nyar kabwana, odhiambo komera piny otamo wang'a. So that first part is just talking of kind of a cry that Odhiambo, Odhiambo, my brother, the world has gone. I don't know how to talk of Pinyopo Dagwambo. Pinyopo Dagwambo. Agwambo is something mysterious. You know what Agwambo is. So when you say Pinyopo Dagwambo, is that things have gone mysterious. The world has gone mysterious. Uh, Jodongo Woro, old people are wondering. Old people are wondering that the world has gone mysterious. Jodongo Woro, piny opodho agwambo, nyakwaro thule, wuod nyar kabwana, odhiambo komera, piny otamo wang'a. Old people are wondering, the world has gone agwambo, the world has become mysterious, or has changed so mysteriously. Nyakwaro thule. Grandson of Othule. So it was just getting names, sort of like it's coming from the mouth of somebody who lived then and is now wondering how things have changed. And then the first part, the second stanza was going something like this. Dhok mane wapidho nolal kanye, nyakwaro thule. Mo mane wayudho nolal kanye, nyakwaro gola. Ochuti mabendwa nolal kanye, nyakwaro thule wuod nyar kabwana, piny opodho agwambo. Oh yeah. So that one is talking about the herds of cattle. Dhok mane wapidho, okay? So where did the herds of cattle go? Mo mane wayudho nolal kanye. Where did the ghee go? There used to be ghee. People used to eat ghee. Ghee. So momane wa yudo, the ghee that we used to eat. Yudo is just to like soup sort of. So those people, those days people used to eat ghee. They used to belt it and just eat it with ugali. So that was called yudo. Momane wa yudo no lal kanye. Where did it go? Nyakwarothole. So every other thing is coming to refrain. Nyakwarothole is a grandson of Othule. It's like a cry, just as I've said, it's crying now. Nyakwarothole, grandson of Othule. Where did they go? Where are the hands of cattle? Ochuti mabendwa no lalkanya. There was a type of millet, a kind of millet. I saw it, but it went with time. It was called ochuti. That red millet. It was really drought resistant. It used to take long to mature, but it was drought resistant. And there were some of the crops that were planted to resist farming. Then the next part is Jodongo machon kano herore nyakwardana. Jodongo agoko mane wachamo no lal kanye nyakwaro thule. So I've forgotten some part, but it's talking of how the old people then, the old men, Jodongo Machonka, the old men used to love each other. they used to sit together and eat what we call agoko. Agoko is the part, the chest part of a cow. Those days, you see, people could just slaughter a cow to celebrate. Yeah, if it was harvesting season, somebody would just after realizing a bounty harvest, he would just point at one of his cattle. My grandmother used to tell me, and he just point at one of his bulls, I mean, and bring the whole community to celebrate. So there were parts that were meant for Jodong, and one of them was that part called Agoko. Agoko, I think Agoko is the chest. Agoko is the chest. So there's some part in the chest of a cow that is very, very nice. And it was set apart for Jodong, old men. And they used to eat it together. So it was Jodongo, machon kano erore, nyakwardana. Agoko mane wachamo no lal kanye, nyakwaro thule. Oseke mane wamadho nolal kanye, nyakwaro gola wuod nyar kabwana piny opodho agwambo. Oh yeah, yeah. So agoko, where did it go to? And then oseke. Oseke is that tube that they used to suck. Was it bosa? They used to put it together and then they surround a pot and they eat with a straw. Oseke is a straw, yeah. So asking Oseke manwa mother no lalkany. And Jodongo used to do it when they were together. So and a cry that things have really changed. The old men of those days used to love each other. They used to take agoko together. They used to take to have beer parties together and drink their beer in a pot using straws. Where did they go? No lalkanye. Nyakwaro Thule, grandson of Thule, Nyakwaro Gola, grandson of Ogola. And then there is this part that now talks about ladies. Nyiri machon kanoritore, nyakwardana. Nyiri machon kaka noneno wuoyi ne ringa tenga, nyakwaro Thule, nyaka korka mach. Okay. So it's talking about the girls of those days used to take care of themselves. Noritore. Nyiri machon ka noritore. When they saw a man, nyiri machon kaka noneno wuoyi ne ringa tenga. The girls of those days, when they saw a man, they would run. Ne ringa tenga, nyakwaro Thule, nyaka korka mach. They would run very fast all the way to the bedroom. Of course, korka mach, the bedrooms never used to be there, korka mach, the cooking place. I don't know whether it was true because my grandmother used to tell me those ladies used to be tough. So it wasn't really the real running, but it is the fact that they were firm. They were not just giving in easily to men. And then the comparison that was following, that nyiri masani koneno wuoyi to wuotho lokre to wang'o lokre wuod nyar kabwana piny opodho agwambo. Oh yeah, that the girls of today, when they see a man, they change the walking style. They change how they look. Wuotho lokre, walking style. Wang'o lokre. Wuod nyar kabwana. Oh, my people. Oh, wuod nyar kabwana, just a general of son of nyar kabwana. Piny opodho agwambo. So it all goes to how piny opodho agwambo. And looking at it today, I want to say that things have really changed anyway. And my grandmother used to tell me, especially when I bring it to the part of the girls. You see, today is a girl, and I think it started even during our time. There was very little that was being done in terms of being told about things like virginity, how important they are. Those days, grandmothers used to sit down with you and tell you that you are a girl. There is something called virginity, and you're supposed to take care of it. Nobody told me about virginity. These are things we learned in school, and it wasn't about care. So I want to say that things used to be good then. Things used to be good. As much as it was more primitivity, if you look at it, it depends on where you're looking at it from. But I look at it like informal or non-formal education of those days when people used to know boundaries. There were boundaries, moral boundaries, boundaries of unity. They had their own disadvantages. But if I look at it, in terms of morality, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages in a certain way, especially in matters girls taking care of themselves. Okay, I don't expect the girl to run like the song is saying, but that kind of having boundaries, eh? Not giving yourself, not just giving yourself freely. When you see a man, it's obvious that this is what you want. Until things have changed, until now, it's girls who ask for it. And bedroom matters are no longer any private. People can do it, people can even show it on social media. So those are the things that the song was trying to address. Yes, we used to laugh, but looking at it today, I feel that it's time to revisit. We should really revisit. We should talk to our girls. We should talk, even as ladies, of boundaries, emotional boundaries. The unity should come back. Jodongo Machonka, unity of purpose, good intentions, of course. Can people sit together and just talk good? Like Jodongo Machonka, Noero. They used to sit together and talk of things to do with the development, things to do with the chick boundaries. This should be done, this should not be done. So and so has done this. It is an abomination to our culture. That cannot be accepted. So they used to do that. And that is how the song was going about. We loved it. And even to date, I loved it. So on the song, especially for the girls, you see, I grew up as a very inquisitive girl. As I was sharing with my grandmother on how could the girls just run at you see a man and you run. But then he told us that, okay, they never used to run. They were just like, you could just get a girl and just ask her name and she follows you. There were procedures, and men also knew. There were even, it depended on the generation. There were a particular generation of girls that for a man to win you, you had to go physical. It was a duel, wrestling. If the girl wrestles you and throws you down, you can't marry her. And then my grandmother also told me about Nyindaria. There were a group of girls who belonged to Nyindaria. Nyindaria were a category of girls who were mentored in a particular way. They belong to a particular group. So if you belong to Nyindaria category, I don't know how to bring it on today, but I think it was just sort of, would I call it a religion? I don't know. A religion, traditional religion, not worshiping anything, but mentorship. They were mentored according to that particular category. So they're called Nyindaria, girls of Ndaria. So Nyindaria were very, very tough. If you are brought up the Daria way, I would still ask more of Daria. Maybe I'll call my father, by the way, and ask him, because I was more interested on how they used to bring their girl to the married place. So if you married a Nyandaria, then the girls of her age set, or the group that were mentored together with her, would come. They would come singing like a bride trail. So they would do things like even talking about the home. Generally, it was like the girl's home. The girl's home was always better, in quotes, than the man's home. So Nyindaria would sneer at anything, at everything in the man's home, And when they came home, I will talk about it in the next episode, that is next Saturday. But then I just bring it briefly, how Nyindaria used to behave. So when they went home, a Luo traditional home was supposed to have a granary. It was supposed to have herds of cattle. It was supposed to have, it was generally polygamous. So it was expected that a polygamous home was supposed to have Mikai's house at the center, Nyachira's house at the right. Yes, at the right of Mikai, and the other woman's house, Rero, the third woman's house, was supposed to be on the left, and things like that kind of arrangement. There's supposed to be a hut. The boys had Simba, the first son's hut, at the right. So Nyindaria would come and they would sing of the arrangement in an kind of despising manner, just to show you that we have not seen anything as much as you've married our girl. So they would say, Adonye dala maberni, dala maber karaderonge. Okay, even if it was there, that I've come to this beautiful home, the so-called beautiful home where our daughter is married, or where one of our girls is getting married, but I can't even see granaries. Our girl will die of hunger. So there were kind of things that we call nyadi, but they were helpful again if I look at them, because people used to ensure that don't marry my daughter to go and make her suffer. Let her come to your home. You should prove that you have enough for her to eat. There should be granaries. There should be some kind of sort of arrangement and things like that. So that is what I have today for our conversation on home and heritage. Hope you'll join me again next time when I'll be talking about Nyindaria, how they used to take girls, how they used to be prepared, and the do's and don'ts, and how they used to say, and how the Nyindaria that I see in my village, there is one that is still there, um, how they take care of their homes, or how they have continuously taken care of their homes. Thank you so much.